So I just can't resist sharing this with my friends and comrades in Dhaka. I'm rereading the French philosopher Alain Badiou's a great piece called Poetry and Communism, and quite a revealing piece, and I have plans to translate this into Bengali at some point. And let me read some lines from this piece. I quote Badiou here, and Badiou's my comrade as well. We worked together, so it's my pleasure quoting him from his piece called Poetry and Communism. In the last century, some truly great poets in almost all languages on earth have been communists. In an explicit or formal way, for example, the following poets were committed to communism: in Turkey, Nazim Hikmet; in Chile, Pablo Neruda; in Spain, Rafael Alberti; in Italy, Edoardo Sanguinetti; in Greece, Ioannis Christos; in China, I. King; in Palestine, Mahmoud Darwish; in Peru, Cesar Vallejo; in Palestine, already mentioned Mahmoud Darwish; and in Germany, the shining example is above all Bertolt Brecht, but we could cite a very large number of other names in other languages throughout the world. And of course, I myself will add to this list Qazi Nazrul Islam and Roque Dalton from El Salvador, Otto Rene Castillo from Guatemala, Julia de Burgos from Puerto Rico. So let me quote Badiou again. I quote, "Can you understand this link between poetic commitment and communist commitment? An error or an errancy, an ignorance of the ferocity of states ruled by communist parties? I do not believe so. I wish to argue, on the contrary, that there exists an essential link between poetry and communism if we understand communism closely in its primary sense, the concern for what is common to all. A tense, paradoxical, violent love of life in common, the desire that what ought to be common and accessible to all should not be appropriated by the servants of capital, the poetic desire that the things of life would be like the sky and the earth, the water of the oceans and the brush fires on a summer night, that is to say, would belong by right to the whole world. Poets are communist for a primary reason, which is absolutely essential. Their domain is language, most often their native tongue. Now, language is what is given to all from birth as an absolutely common good. Poets are those who try to make language say what seems incapable of saying. Poets are those who seek to create in language new names to name that which before the poem has no name. And it is essential for poetry that these inventions, these creations which are internal to language, have the same destiny as the mother tongue itself, for them to be given to all without exception. The poem is a gift of the poet to language. But this gift, like language itself, is destined to the common, that is, to this anonymous point where what matters is not just one person in particular, but all in the singular.